Hi, this is Nigel Maynard, editor-in-chief of Drugstore News, and welcome back to our ongoing series where we talk to some of the most important people in retail pharmacy. Our special guest today is Musab Balbale, Chief Merchandising Officer for CVS Health. Musab, you've visited with us in the past, and we are glad that you've decided to come back.
Thanks, Nigel. It's good to be here.
Great. Well, we're going to just jump right in because we have a lot to talk about today. And you're in the business, you've seen the news, we've all seen the news. It's a pivotal time for retail pharmacy right now. The industry is facing lots of challenges and they're also facing competition. How does the industry turn things around collectively?
It's a challenging time in, I'd say, retail more broadly. And I think when we look across the broader retail landscape, the retailers that are really succeeding are the ones that put the customer at the forefront and really build their business model and their experience around the customer. And what I'm particularly proud of at CVS is that as a collective retail team, as an enterprise team more broadly, we've taken what we've learned through COVID, which was we can actually help serve customers and serve their healthcare needs in a variety of different ways. And continue that through and post the COVID time period. It's a little hard to believe it's 5 years since COVID. See us doing now is really making sure that as we think about the customer experience digitally, as we think about the customer or patient experience in our stores, we're focused not just on filling the script, but actually on connecting with the customer. Because at the end of the day, especially when somebody is in an acute healthcare moment, that relationship really matters. And certainly, the fundamentals of retail, speed, cost, availability are important, but that relationship takes on different meaning. And it's a place that, through our colleagues, through our services online and in stores, we've become much, much better at over the last couple of years.
I've been reading from about different consultants as they talk about retail pharmacy and some of the issues that the industry is having right now. And universally, they seem to feel that the retail pharmacy store, the physical store hasn't evolved and that they look the same as they did, say, 20 years ago. Do you think this is a fair assessment? And what is CVS doing to change that perception?
It's sort of hard to me to think about sort of like where we started. When I look at what we have done at CVS, even in the last 3 years, I would say we've evolved quite a bit. I think from a structural perspective, what CVS has done with Cost Vantage to create much more structural sustainability in how we manage our costs and therefore are able to provide sort of better pricing and better services to customers. Like that's an evolution of the business model. As we think about what we've done to bring technology into our stores, making scripts that need to be filled, distributed among sort of a small network of stores, and making sure that customers have availability of the script when they arrive in the store. That feels like an evolution of the business model to me. When we think about just how much of the communication is happening with the customer through our app or through text messages, that seems like an evolution of the business model to me. So the customer is always looking for the next best option, and we have to make sure we're evolving fast and keeping up to pace with the customer. But I would say that I think we're continuing to make a lot of progress to simplify the consumer journey and make sure that our business model holistically is much more sustainable. And really simple case in point, what COVID, really accelerated was the ability for customers to schedule and receive a vaccine. And CVS is really proud of the fact that we were one of the first to offer vaccines to Americans when it came out during COVID. And that infrastructure and that approach has continued to this day as we think about flu vaccines and what we offer patients through the cold and flu season. And so I do think that we have made a lot of progress against sort of accelerating and more demanding customer expectations.
Now let's stick with the customer for a little bit because one of the things that we've seen from customers as well as suppliers and retailers talking about it is that the use of the term the intersection of health, beauty, and wellness. What does that term mean to CVS and how are you meeting the consumer demand for it?
Yeah. It's a conversation we have a lot, especially in the front store. What retail health is, at least from my perspective, is bringing what is a complicated, emotionally fraught, oftentimes like very acute moment in the customer journey into sort of the simplicity and ease of what we all know as consumer retail. And so when we think about what that means in terms of our stores and how we show up from a brand personality, it has certainly started with and is led by the intersection of health and healthcare, including sort of OTCs and vitamins, our beauty business, and the connections between skin health and OTC and nutrition is, I think, increasingly more apparent. But it's also evolving to this notion that health isn't just about what you put in your body, what you put on your skin. It's actually just getting through really, really hard days. I've got two small kids, an 8-year-old and a 12-year-old. And like this time of year between all the end of year school stuff, finding the right presents, wrapping the right presents, like time is ultimately the most precious commodity. And so as we think about our rules in our stores, we're really, really close to the customer. 7,500 standalone locations that are really easy to get in and out of. And so we're spending a lot of time thinking about how do we play those roles in communities where you might not want a full shopping basket, but the last few minutes where we can sort of fill in what you might need for a last minute school project or a last minute gift or like packaging tape, all those moments kind of fall under this emotional wellness umbrella. And I think we're going to start to see the notion of wellness expand beyond simply health and beauty into measures that account for just time and sort of those immediate needs that we all have as people in busy lives.
Now, I think it might have been about a year ago. It could have been at the regional NACDS conference. You had talked about CVS and the importance of connecting the front end to the pharmacy, about capitalizing on trust and convenience, some of the things you talked about already. Can you tell us a little bit about how that effort is going, and is there a next phase in that journey?
There is, and it's an area that we continue to spend more time evolving. And this steps off of the last conversation we were just having in your previous question, which is when a customer comes into our retail box, they may be coming for different reasons. They may be coming because they need to pick up a prescription. They may be coming because they, have a last minute gift, but they're in a space in which we get to offer them more than what brings them in. And so we're really trying to find ways, whether it be through the digital triggers that we provide them, to how simple we make, connecting front OTC products to what their doctor may have prescribed but isn't covered part of their insurance, to simply how our colleagues support one another, front store and back of the store in moments of sort of high volume, to simplify what the customer experiences. And what's been really incredible over the last year and a half is we've come back into one retail organization, now led by Len Shankman. Our front store and our pharmacy teams are working really closely together, and intentionally or unintentionally, oftentimes, customers feel the organizational structures that are behind the experiences. But by really working as one team, by having one retail structure that supports both front store and pharmacy, we're finding more and more ways in which we, from an operational perspective, streamline and support one another, but also from a consumer-facing perspective, find ways to sort of connect. And this is, we're trying things like making sure that when customers are coming through the digital flows for for pharmacy, that we're introducing them to products that they might want in the front store. When doctors prescribe items that are OTC products and we don't carry them in the pharmacy, We're trying to find ways to make sure the consumer knows that we have it in the front store. Similarly, in the front store, during immunization seasons, we're making sure we're reminding the customer that they can get an immunization in the back and the pharmacy. And so we're finding more and more ways to connect that journey.
And so you kind of preempted my final question because it's about the use of technology and digital tools. And you talked about some already, specifically the vaccine scheduling and that sort of thing. Are there other ways you're thinking about using technology to enhance the customer experience?
Yeah.
Especially like AI, because I know a lot of people are talking about AI now.
There is certainly a lot of conversation around the buzzword at the moment. What I would say is, from my perspective, technology has really three functions, right? One is, can you know the customer better? So can you use technology to really understand the customer within the laws of HIPAA? The second is, can you communicate with the customer on a much more personalized basis? And then the third is, can you use technology to actually streamline or make the customer transaction process or sort of journey a lot more efficient? What I would say is on the former, on the first, on just like understanding the customer with our extra care program, and certainly like separate from that, but like in the pharmacy experience, we're using our understanding of the customer, not customers broadly, but you as a person, to provide you better choices. So if you've forgotten to get your vaccine, making sure we're reminding you that you can get your vaccine at CVS. If you run out of toothpaste, making sure we remind you that you can get toothpaste at CVS. So we're finding ways to try to personalize that experience. The communication, I think, then follows pretty easily from that, right? So whether it be the app or text messages or emails, we continue to personalize those experiences as much as possible. So it is a one-to-one conversation versus a retailer to mass conversation. And then just the incredible evolution we've made on our digital experiences and our digital app to really connect all of the elements of our enterprise are ways in which the customer journey using digital starts to become a lot easier. There's certainly a lot more to happen, to build and to improve upon, but I'm pretty excited about the progress we've made over the last few years.
Well, hopefully you can come back for a third time and give us another update.
Sounds great.
All right, Musab, thank you so much for joining us.
Take care.